Hey everyone, as you can see, I am not at home. I am not at my kitchen table. I am in Austin filming with the beautiful and lovely Lisa from Lisa J Makeup. And we are here to share with you our top 10 favorite beauty products from 2023. I should say we're here to share our top 20 because we're gonna share 10 favorites here. And then you're gonna hop over to Lisa's channel where you can watch the other 10 favorites. And if you don't know who Lisa is, let me do a very quick biography for you. Lisa, first and foremost, was a friend of mine that we met through YouTube about 10 years?
5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. I met you at my first Reward Stall conference. And I'm just gonna shout out you real quickly. Marnie was my first like Instagram friend, YouTube friend, and she took me under her wing for my first Reward Stall conference, which I will never forget because going to something like that can be very scary and intimidating. And Marnie just took me under her wing, welcomed me, plugged me in everywhere she was going, and I'll never forget that.
That's so sweet. I'm really glad because it's turned into an amazing friendship. And if you don't know Lisa, she is not just the star of the Lisa J Makeup channel, which is huge in its own right, but then she decided to create a makeup brush brand.
BK Beauty.
Ta-da! So you've seen those in all of my videos where I'm applying makeup. They're always BK Beauty brushes, and this is the genius behind the brand and in front of the brand.
Thank you.
So we are actually filming in her studios, and I think we should jump into the favorites.
I'm excited.
Well, since you're the guest,
I get
so to speak, on this channel, go first.
Okay, I'm gonna go first. So I have an assortment of my favorite products that I discovered in 2023. So not all of these necessarily launched this year, but I discovered them and I fell in love with them. And this was not an easy task by any means. Okay, so I discovered a really affordable face powder recently, actually, just within the last couple of weeks from ColourPop. It's the Pretty Fresh Pressed Face Powder. I have the shade Light 6. And what I love about this powder is it's very, very lightweight. So it's very mature skin friendly. It's very friendly for like textured skin. It does have a really matte finish. So if you have dry skin, you might want to skip this one. But this just gives a really pretty airbrush, like porcelain doll effect on the skin. Like when I put this on for the first time, it was one of those products that I put it on, I was like, wow. You know when you like have those
Well, I was gonna say, I do have dry skin, but I wear a lot of dewy, radiant foundations, and sometimes it's just a little too much. Would that work over?
Yes, I would use a fluffy light brush. I wouldn't use something too dense because if you use something really dense, it'll pick up too much powder and it might mattify too much. But it's very beautiful, very poreless, very light, very silky, and it's very affordable.
Adding that to my list of things I don't own, but will.
It's good.
Okay, so if we're gonna do powders, I'm gonna see your powder and raise you one. So again, these are not necessarily new releases, but they're new to us in 2023. And so I finally, after everyone else telling me to get it, and I know you love it, I see it.
I'm gonna save it for my video, so it's not, we don't overdo it here.
So this is the Givenchy Prisme Libre.
There you go.
It's a powder, and as you can see from the sides, there's 4 different shades in here. They're color correcting. What I was looking for was a powder that would take down the shine. I do have dry, aging skin, but for some reason, I'm getting more oil in the T-zone lately. And so this has been great to take down that shine without drying my skin. And I also really love it on a puff for under eye.
Under eye, yeah.
Really sets the concealer
it's
really nicely
light.
there.
And it's, for me, I find it to be really pore blurring.
Yes.
It's like very, I use that in the matching blush. They have a loose powder blush. And when I put those two on, I had like 0 pores. So try that, you might like it.
I'm getting a shopping list going, and I should say before we get too far into this, if you would like to get your shopping list going, everything that we talk about will be listed down in the description box in the order in which we mention it with all the links, and then I also pin that to the top of the comments. And I'm trying a little experiment with the QR code, so if you're watching on a TV and don't have access to your phone or a computer, you can scan that and it'll take you to the description box too. So lots of places to find our links.
Okay, so moving right along, let's talk about a cream shadow that is also drugstore that I fell in love with this year. And it's really the color that I love the most. The formula's nice, but it's not the formula that's like spectacular, it's the color. This is the Revlon Color Stay Cream Eyeshadow. This is the shade 710 Caramel. I'm gonna put it up here so you can see it, and then I will also swatch it. Okay, so this is a view of it. I'm also gonna swatch it on my hand so you can see.
It is
it's
stunning.
a very beautiful, light, like bronzy shade. It has some shimmer to it, but it's not a real heavy shimmer. And the texture is pretty thin and sheer. So I will say that this will work well for mature eyes. It is a bit of a drier formula for a cream shadow. So if you have issues with the cream shadows being a little too dry, or your eyelids might be a little dry, there are creamier formulas out there that I would recommend, maybe like the MAC Paint Pots. But the color of this is just so pretty. I actually like to put like a black eyeliner or a dark brown eyeliner that's a kohl pencil on the eyes, kind of messy, and then take this and smudge it on top of it, and it just softens.
You did that in a video.
I did it in a video. I did.
I think I remember that too.
Yay, I did, yeah.
Yes.
And it's so good. It's like a foolproof way to just get some intensity at the lash line, but soft. It's like a very soft look to the eye. It's beautiful. I love this.
Since we are on the subject of drugstore, I thought I would share the most worn foundation for me in 2023, and it's what I have on. So it's slightly different coverage than what Lisa has, and I know she's going to address that either in this video or next video, so watch them both. It is the L'Oreal True Match Foundation. This time of year, I'm closer to the shade N2. When I do self-tan or fake tan, it's N3, and if I want to look a little less ashy, then I'll go to the W side just to add a little more warmth, which does really help. But I wear this for every day. I wear this for special occasions. It's not quite as dewy or radiant as some of my other favorites, like the NARS Radiant.
I love
light
that
reflecting. I should say the light reflecting foundation is one of my all-time favorites. I feel like this one will just work in a lot of different situations, and you can add shimmer and all the other things if you want a little more extra. But absolutely love this, and the shade range.
That's beautiful. That I discovered last year, or otherwise it probably would have been in this video too. It's really, really beautiful. I think L'Oreal is the best for drugstore foundations, like consistently.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yes. Yeah,
you know, there are some other formulas out there that are really great, but L'Oreal just knocks it out of the park with almost every single one of them.
So many formulas.
Yeah, really nice.
I agree.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump over to, I'm gonna save my drugstore version of that for my video, so you have to go watch that if you wanna see it. Let's bounce over to a cream bronzer that I have not put down since I bought earlier this year. It's the Patrick Ta cream bronzer, and I have the shade She's Bronzed. Now, this product, you get a powder bronzer, and then you also get a cream, and I love when they have this little protective.
It's
just nice, yeah. Especially when you're mixing cream products with powder products like this. It can get really messy, as you can tell from mine, so I like that it has a little protector. What I love about this, so the formula of this is really nice and creamy. It's very consistent on the skin, so when you blend it out, it blends out beautifully. It's not patchy or spotty. It has a good amount of pigment. So when I'm looking at blushes or bronzers, I want it to have a moderate level of pigment. I don't want it to be super sheer, but I also don't want it to be so packed with pigment that I can't blend it out when I get it onto the skin. And I actually like to use a powder brush to apply it. So I'll go in with a powder brush like this to apply it. It just blends it out so nice. It stays all day. The shade is perfect. It's more of a bronze shade, not a contour shade, but it's not too warm, not too orangey. It's really beautiful.
I do need to point out, this is part of her newest release, the Nikki LaRose.
Yep.
And this has become
I love that one.
My favorite complexion brush. Just need to point that out. I mean, not for all the things, but almost all the things. So powder, setting under here, a little blush even, just,
it's good.
This.
And this did fill a gap.
Fits.
We have a lot of brushes, and I always tell people you don't need every single brush that we release or come out with. I don't want people to think they have to go out and buy everything we have. But I will say this particular brush filled a gap. We didn't have a powder brush of this size and shape. A lot of our powder brushes are a lot larger or a lot smaller, and this was kind of like right there in the middle. So I was really happy when she designed this.
It's beautiful. We have more complexion products to share, but I wanted to jump up to the eyes because this one has been a game changer, not just for makeup, but for an area of concern. And it's the GrandeBROW 2-in-1 Tinted Brow Gel, which also has a brow enhancing serum, and I have mine in the shade Light. So why this ticks a bunch of boxes. I do have unruly brows, at least from here in. So this really does hold them in place. The other reason that I love this is because I love my blonde hair, but it does not naturally grow out of my head this way. And I want to actually take down the darkness of my brows a little bit, so that's why I do the light shade. It's not gonna completely tint them and change the color of your eyebrows, but if you are like me and your brows are a bit darker than the hair on your head, this is a nice way to cheat that and just take the edge off a little bit. But what's really great about this is that I have definite thinning of the tail tail ends of my eyebrows due to age, hypothyroidism, all the fun things. And this has a brow serum in it. And yes, I have brow serums sitting in my medicine cabinet that just sit there because I forget to put them on. But I do my brows every day.
Yeah.
And so I can
That's a good point.
kill two birds with one stone. And they do have a nice shade range that isn't overwhelming. So I really, really love this. And I also love, it is just
wand.
the teeniest, tiniest little wand.
Yeah. I discovered that product this year too, and that's at home. I use that every day. Yeah, if I could pick 20 products that were my top, that would have been in them.
That's too funny.
For sure. It's good. Actually, a few of the ones that Marnie picked, I'm like, oh my God, I love that too.
And with you.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see, what do I want to share? Let's go over and share a blush that I discovered recently. I feel like this might be a viral blush. The Laura Geller Serum Blush Sticks. These actually did launch this year, and I bought 3 of them when they came out. I bought Beautiful Blossom, Perfectly Pink, and then Poppy Peach. So what these are like a little blush stick. I don't love the applicator. I'm not a huge fan of like the sponge tip applicators. This one hasn't gotten messy yet, but what I find is most of the products that are in applicators like this end up getting messy over time.
They do.
So just proceed with caution. You know when we get these and you're just like, you know, you turn it a million times because it's not coming up and then all of a sudden you have an eruption of product? Don't do that. What I love about these are very, very mature skin friendly, great for dry skin. This time of year, these are great because they're very hydrating. They're not super pigmented blushes.
I love that.
Right, but they are buildable. So let me show you what it's, and this is a lighter color too. So this is kind of,
Swatch it on my pasty.
okay, there we go. I'm gonna swatch it on Marnie. That's good, we should compare. Okay, perfect. So we can compare the how they look on each of our skin.
Definitely pigmented for me.
You can build it though and get more pigment, but they're very easy to work with. They're very hydrating and they do give the skin a pretty glowy look. They're kind of a hybrid between a cream and a liquid. Like it's more of a liquid formula, just the way that it's applied. It's not gonna be as like wet as other liquid blushes are. But I'm saying that because the texture is gonna be, you know, dewy. It's not gonna set like a powder. So that's something to keep in mind if you like products that's set more. This is just really, really hydrating, very pretty. This is also a great product that you can wear when you're not wearing foundation. So the days that you just want to wear a little tinted SPF and you want something light and natural, these are perfect. And I love this one.
I'm adding that to my list.
Yes, you need one.
Well.
And I've recommended this a lot and I have people come back that bought them and love them, so.
I'm heavy-handed with my makeup, so I like that it's buildable and I can't mess up my makeup.
No, you can't mess up
And
unless
it
you
is
try
setting
to.
now that I'm rubbing it in. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. I'm gonna stick with the eyes and I'm gonna talk about these cream shadow sticks from Tarte. These are the quick sticks. I've mentioned them quite a bit recently in some favorites as well. And I'm wearing the rose gold one on almost as a base actually under some other eyeshadow that we'll talk about either in this video or the other one. So again, make sure you're watching them both. What I love about these is that the actual stick end where the cream shadow is, it's pretty narrow. And I like that because I don't have a lot of real estate on my lids to begin with, and I do have hooded eyes. So the smaller shadow stick actually lets me place this exactly where I want this. Most of the time when I'm using cream shadow sticks, I'll only put it all over the lid. And it can be messy, not quite as precise, blend it out and put something in the crease. But because these are smaller, it allows me to use like the matte brown shade that I also use today and draw out where I want my crease to be, because I like to cheat my crease a little bit and put it exactly where I want on the outer corner. And it blends easily, but not so much that I'm gonna overblend it and wipe all the pigment away. So I think these are really user-friendly if you're new to playing with shadow sticks. And then on the other end, it has a really fine point eyeliner. Most of the time it's brown, dark brown. A few of them have black. I don't really use eyeliner all that often, but when I want one, these have held up really well and they haven't smudged and found their way under my eyes. So absolutely love it. And there's a bunch of color options, but the rose gold brown combo is my favorite.
Those are good. I like those. I discovered those. Was it this year or last year? I got them and I love them too. I love a cream shadow stick. I feel like it's very, they're just easy. They're really pretty and I usually just blend them out with my fingers. And I'm a brush girl, obviously, and I will blend them out with my fingers. So.
I did use one of your Nikki LaRose ones to blush it, to blend it out, the smudge one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one for that. Yeah. Okay, so the last product that I have to share is a drugstore blush that I actually bought this, I think, last year, the year before, but it was this year that I fell in love with it. It's the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush, and this particular shade is Bermuda. So what I love about this, it's a cream blush. I almost exclusively wear cream blushes lately.
I can see that.
I know. I have a few powders that I like, but I just love cream blushes. This has a great amount of pigment. You get pigment, but it's not too much pigment. Okay. You know what I mean? I'm thinking of the Rare Beauty blushes. I like those, but those have so much pigment, and the first time I used them, it was a mess. So this is a moderate level of pigment. You can blend it out really nice, very seamlessly. It lasts all day. The finish on this is pretty natural, so it's not gonna give a super glowy, dewy look, but it's also not flat and matte.
I like that.
It's really pretty. Yeah, you can apply it with your finger. The only complaint I have is that the pot is kind of small, so I like to use the R112 brush because it is a small blush brush to get right in there. But if you're going in with like a larger blush brush, it's kind of big to get in there. You can, but it's a.
I know what brush would be perfect for that?
Which one? The 108?
My favorite, the 106.
The 106. Oh yeah, the 106 would be great. Our foundation brush. That would be perfect. But yeah, it's good. You can also blend it out with your fingers. So it's really good, like just simple, easy, effortless cream blush.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And this color's nice. It's a pretty peachy pink.
It's one of those universally flattering shades.
It's like the color on your lips, kind of.
Yeah. Yes, which we apparently are going to talk about in the next video. Okay, so my last product, I am cheating, but this is my channel, and I rarely follow my own rules. If you are a repeat watcher here, this is not new to me. It's my most recommended makeup product, but I have bought a couple tubes of this year, so I'm going to count it as a 2023, and it is the Trish McEvoy Instant Eye Lift. I will recommend this as much as I can. If you buy one thing I ever recommend, it's this product. So this is an under eye corrector. It is not a concealer, and it goes on before you put on any other like foundation, concealer, anything like that. So if you are a girl who doesn't want to wear makeup, but you just need to brighten under your eyes so you at least look like you've had some sleep, this is what you need. It is hard to see because it is peach and it is blending in with my skin tone, but it does come in different shades. I am shade 1 light, so it is a very light peachy.
So that's the lightest shade?
Yes.
Okay.
And it just immediately brightens and blends right into your skin. So if you choose not to wear foundation, you will never see a line of demarcation. You don't need to set it with powder. And then if you are going on with makeup, you just go on with your foundation if you want to add a little more concealer just to brighten. But it is such a beautiful formula. I feel like it was designed more for mature women because it doesn't set into fine lines. It's not overly creamy, but it's not too dry. It's just the perfect under eye corrector, and I feel like everyone needs to try it at least once.
I need to pull mine out. I had that and I used it. I remember loving it, but you know how we try so many new products and then we put something aside and then we forget about how amazing it was. I do remember loving that product.
I will say that I have a lot of friends through YouTube who loved the Armani color correctors, and then they tried this and they never went back.
Oh, okay. That's saying a lot.
Well, we have more to share, but we're going to save the other 10 recommendations for Lisa's video over on her channel. So I will have her channel linked up here down in the description box, and we are looking forward to seeing you over there.
This was fun.
This was fun. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for hanging out with me. I get to hang out with you.
Well, thanks for coming and driving to Austin and filming this with me.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye. But I really... Okay, that's stupid. Of course we love them. They're all our favorites. Okay.
I do the same thing, Marnie. It's so nice to see that other people do the same thing.
We say it's like a drinking game. How many times do we say that? Okay.